What's up, YouTube? My name is Duck Butter. I'll let you guys Google that one. Today's video, I want to go over my pros and cons of Battlefield 2042. Before we start, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. With all that out of the way, let's begin. So the cons, what I don't like about the game. There's not very many maps, first and foremost. There are 7 new maps with 6 from past Battlefields, but we're not going over that today. So on the 7 new maps, I'd have to say my favorite are Renewal and Breakaway. I think with Conquest and Breakthrough, I think they play the best out of the 7 maps. We played Orbital in the beta. That was very good. I liked it a lot. And then we have Discarded, which that's probably my least favorite. So on my first bullet point here, we have Bloom. There is Bloom similar to what we have in Fortnite. Your bullets aren't always going where your ADS at, where your gun is pointing when you are aiming down sights. Personally, I don't believe it has any reason to be in any first-person shooter outside of Fortnite and outside of shotguns, obviously pellet spread. Like a game modes is also on here as one of my top priorities. Right now, if you want to gain XP and play the core multiplayer experience in 2042, you have 2 game modes. You have Conquest and you have Breakthrough. I like Breakthrough more because it resembles more of my favorite game mode, which is Rush. There's very slight differences, but they're pretty much the same game mode. I want to see Rush come back, TDM, Free for All, Gunmaster, which is gun game, any of those. We don't have a traditional scoreboard, which I think is stupid. How can I see how good I'm doing? How can I see my KD, my objectives play? How can I see what my team is doing, how they're playing? I tend to look at the scoreboard a lot. If I have a lot of teammates on the objective, I'm going to go for kills and vice versa. If my team's going for kills, I need to play the objective. It's a little bit of back and forth there. I'm not going to touch on this a lot, but a lot of the bigger YouTubers I watch, like Silk and all of them, who do a lot of flying in Battlefield with whether that's jets, the Osprey gunner, or the helicopter. A lot of the major YouTubers have said that the jet flying just doesn't feel right. The physics are not correct. There's something wrong with it. Anyways, off topic, let's get back to the cons. Where are my classes at? There's no classes in Battlefield. You have the Assault, the Medic, the Engineer, the Recon class, but they're not classes in the traditional sense. Where anybody can take ammo, anybody can take armor, anybody can take health now. I just want to see the traditional, classic Battlefield 4 style of classes come back, where if you want to heal your teammates with the med pack, you have to be a medic. Next on the list, can't tell if anyone is nearby to revive. So when you go down but not out and you can be healed, in Battlefield 5 there was actually symbols on the bottom left of your screen that told you who was nearby, who was a medic, who was a blueberry, and who was a squad mate, and who was able to revive you and how far away they were. I wish that would come back. I don't know where it went or why they got rid of it, but I thought that was perfect. The reason why I want that back though is because when you're playing 2042 and you go down, you have no idea if there is anybody around that can revive you unless you look around and can tell. You also don't know if anybody is on their way to come revive you. What ends up happening is bad for both parties. If I need to be revived, I don't know any information. I don't know if someone's coming to help. I don't know if somebody is nearby. I don't know if my squad is nearby. Vice versa, if I see somebody go down, I have no way to say, hey, I'm coming to get you. Wait, there is no game chat right now. When it does come out, that might help, but we'll see. I play on PC. It is not optimized whatsoever on PC. It kind of runs like crap, to be honest. I have a 2070 Super and a Ryzen 7 3700X. I do not have a bad PC, but I can barely run 50 FPS with low settings on everything. Combine that with the troubling launch, we're having terrible hit registration, constant lag, constant rubber banding. I can't join my friends half the time, and they can't join me, so it's a little like, who's going to join who game in the beginning of every night. And then once you all do get together, because there's more of you, you have to find games that have available spots. So then you have longer queue times, you have a 50-50 shot whether you can actually play in that game or not, and you just don't know until you get into that game. The game needs to be optimized better for PC. I don't know how it runs on Xbox or PlayStation. I can't imagine it runs very well on old gen hardware, but it needs to be fixed. We can't be having less than 120 FPS on PC with low settings. I even have a friend who has a 3060, barely gets over 80 FPS. What the hell is going on with this game? Continuing on with the bad, there's a lack of guns. At face value, it sounds like a lot. There are 22 guns in Battlefield 2042. If you're coming from COD, that kind of sounds normal. Might be on the high side, actually. However, that is only 3 pistols, 4 submachine guns, 4 assault rifles, 2 light machine guns, 3 DMRs, 3 snipers, and 3 shotguns. I'm an AR guy, SMG guy. I don't have a lot to play with. I have 8 different ones, and obviously with the way first-person shooters are, there's going to be a meta, so there's really only going to be 1 or 2 guns out of those categories that are actually worthwhile. However, on the LMG side, you have the LCM LMG, which is the best one in the class, has very little kick, if any at all, and then the detachments only make it better. And then you have the PKP, I think it's called. Kick is still not bad, manageable, but the LCM is much better. Sniper rifles, I don't have nothing to say. DMRs, I don't have nothing to say. I haven't touched a shotgun. The pistol seems alright, and the SMGs seem okay. There's little to no weapon balance right now. Yeah, game is just coming out. You know, we got to give it a couple of months to get some balancing in and see how that goes. Let's talk about Conquest for the game mode for a minute. They did something a little bit different this year. So traditionally, you'll have A, B, C, D, E objective, and that's it. And you go cap 1, that's 1 objective. With 2042, now we have split objectives. We have like A1, A2, A3, which doesn't sound like a bad thing. However, when you look at the overhead map while you're in game, you press the M on your keyboard to bring up the map. You'll have sectors that you have to control to get points for it. It's extra steps to be Conquest. That's all it is. You have to hold objective A1, A2, and A3 to control the A sector and then gaining points, which definitely does a good job at evening out the scores for the longest amount of time. Because before, if you triple capped, quadruple capped, or you capped all points for an extended period of time, you'd get a 3, 4, 500 ticket lead, and it's almost impossible for the other team to come back. The split objectives seem like a nuisance way of leveling out the playing field, score-wise. Not so much skill-wise, but score-wise, it definitely levels the field. My games in Conquest are much closer, within a couple hundred tickets, rather than being down by 500 or up by 500, whatever you have. I don't really care for the split objectives. I really wish it was just, instead of A1, A2, A3, we just got A, B, C, D, E, F, G type of thing or something. Or maybe even add a multiplier to owning all 3 objectives. So if you own all 3 of the A objectives, you'll get like 1.3 points. It just won't show the decimal, and once you get another one, it just bumps up. So enough of the bad, let's go over to the pros, the stuff that I like about the game. While this game has an abundance of players per match, 128, that's 64 versus 64, the way that the objectives are set up throughout the map make the maps flow very well. They took a lot of time with planning out how maps work and how they flow, which I can agree to doesn't always work out in the end with the older games. The engine feels great. I'm actually not sure if we're on the last gen Frostbite engine or if we're on a newer Frostbite engine. Either way, it slaps. It is a W for sure. It feels good, it feels fluid, it doesn't feel like you're running through mud all the time, it just feels good. I did ask a couple of my Discord buddies to jump into this pros and cons list with me. Pretty much everybody had good things to say, not very many bad things. Any bad things we did have to say, we already went over earlier in the video. We're getting down to the wire here. Matches are always feel like action movies with the explosions and the lighting, the sound, everything comes together very nicely to give you a very in-your-face, fast-paced, action-packed kind of feeling. One thing that DICE did super well this time around was the leveling system outside of like your player level, but like your guns and stuff. I think the hardest challenge to do right now is 1600 kills. I think every weapon has it, and you get like the tier 1 kind of like gold camo for it. It's not gold, but it looks really good. It's actually 1600 kills, assist, or objective captures for the vehicles. Right now, me and my buddy Skyler, we're working really hard to get those done on the hovercraft, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. The hovercraft is extremely OP. It's a bullet sponge. There's not a lot of weapons that can shoot it and do damage. Primarily, it's going to be recoilless rockets. It's going to be C5. It's going to be explosions. It's going to be other vehicles that take you out. I really, really, really like the T attachment menu while you're in game. You hold T, it brings up your quick access menu to all of your attachments. I love, 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 love that. So instead of building out 5 classes of the same gun, I can just put all of those attachments on my attachment menu, and right there they are. I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to die and rechange everything. I think that works out well. I think it works out better than people thought. And with that, I think we're at the end of the video here, guys. If you have any thoughts, complaints, any experiences you've had, go ahead and leave them down in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys here next time, too.